Welcome back. In this episode of Drag Boat Garage, we are going to place this here to see if it results in this. So guys, this is my TUFF 24. I'll try and kind of walk around and just sort of explain what this thing's all about, the details and that sort of thing. I bought this here in the spring, and yeah, as you know, I say early summer, and as you know, I've wanted one of these for a while, so super excited, and just sort of go over the details with you, some of the fine points about this particular boat, and yeah, and we're going to install that race fairing, and we're going to see if it nets us some performance gains. Now, let me say this. This isn't the first time this test has been done. TUFF has been installing these in these boats for years. They've proven that it works. I just want to try it for myself. Maybe it doesn't work for me. Maybe when you're talking 1 to 2 miles an hour minimal, maybe my driving efforts don't warrant that. Mark and Thomas are truly boat whisperers. They can drive something, they feel everything. Maybe it works for them, maybe it doesn't. But anyways, regardless, I want to thank Chris Woods for lending me this. I tried to buy it from Chris, and Chris said, you know what? It sat out behind my shed. I haven't used it in a while, but I don't really want to sell it, but you're more than welcome to take it and use it. And actually, I want to thank John Bigelow. John Bigelow gave me a carbon one. It's actually in the back. I'll show you. It came off his blue TUFF 24, the one that he bought from Blake. And it's a little bit lighter than the white one, but the white one matches, and it looks apart. So when Chris said that I could borrow it and try it, I thought, heck yeah, why not? So anyways, again, not the first to try this, but I'm excited to get it on. They actually look kind of cool. It gives it that sleek look and closes it all off. And we'll see. I mean, it's obvious it's going to give some tail lift. I've seen some funky aero stuff happen in the cockpit, because if I when I take my hat off when I run and I put it down in my little side pocket, it ends up underneath the deck. So there is some stuff going on in there for sure when you get up in those speeds. So we're going to see if we can pick this up. And I'm just going to walk around the boat. I'll go over some details with the boat. Then we'll go take a look at the race fairing, and we'll put this thing in place. And then we're going to head to the lake and test it out. Okay guys, so this particular boat, I think it's a 2018 model. I can tell you that it is a carbon glass hybrid, so it's a mix of both. So it's not a feather light boat, but it's not an overly heavy boat, but it's very strong construction. A couple of features that this boat came with, like option-wise, it was decked out pretty good, is it has a front ballast tank with a pump. So that actually adds weight. That's not aiding in our top speed, but it sure is nice when you get in some rough water, or you sit very low in these boats, and you're, say, idling up a river or something. You can fill the ballast tank and it pushes the front down and it makes it easier to see. So very nice feature. So and then the Lavorsi gauges that TUFF always uses, they've got the TUFF logo, super nice. And yeah, really nice high back seats. Like the comfort, I sit so comfortable in this boat. The position of the foot blocks for both passenger and driver, super nice. And you got your nice full back seat, and these boats, they build them nice. They don't have a well. It's just this nice flip up cover. Really pretty little boat. I like the color scheme. I like the black and white with the red. I think over the winter, I'm gonna maybe update the gauges. I'm gonna take the red bezels away, I think, and go with like a brushed aluminum I love the red accents, but for my taste, there's maybe a little too much. So maybe we'll just change that up, and probably gonna change up the steering wheel too. But overall, I can't tell you how happy I am with this boat. As for power, this is a 2019 or 2020 Yamaha Show 200 HO. It has an MCR flash that we did here. It had a hydromotive flash in it when I bought it, but the hydromotive flash retains the factory rev limiter. So we replaced, or we reflashed it with the MCR, which is the NISPro flash, and we immediately saw some performance gains there. One thing that I will show is this cowl is, this is a broken up cowl that I bought. I don't know if you can see, there's a chip there, there's a chip there. So I actually made a homemade ram air just to test. That actually goes directly into the throttle body, and the rest of it's closed out. So you could never run this cowl in the rain. I actually have a real nice one. You can't see it, but it's back there. It's all blacked out, blackout logo or decals and everything. It's super, super nice. So, and we've got some things coming down the pipe where we're going to be able to retain the factory cowl without a hole and have that same ram air effect. So I can tell you that we saw a 30-degree temperature difference in air intake temperature with this cowl versus the closed cowl. These cowls hold an enormous amount of heat, and opening that up made a big difference. So the gear case, I'm not going to go into too many details on. It's not a bad case in how it was done, really. I mean, whoever did it did not a bad job. The problem is the water pickup holes are very, very, very far forward. So it drags a lot of gear case. And I have actually moved the water pickup holes back as far as I could, and it helped, but it's still, we need to, over the winter, we're gonna do a much better gear case. Got a Duttweiler jack plate, and I want to re-rig this boat. Obviously, it's factory rigging. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, TUFF does a great job. It's just, I want it drag boat garage level of, and hopefully the winter time that I have space where I can squeak it inside and try and update that. But man, overall, just an absolute incredible package. Just the performance is just, they're second to none. There's really nothing else that will perform like these boats. So anyways, let's take a look at this fairing and see what we got going. All right, guys, so here it is. So this fairing, TUFF built this for Chris Woods with his boat. I think it's probably about a 2018, 2019. So, and it's been sitting out behind Chris's shed at his cottage. So, I mean, it's far from perfect. It's got a couple nicks in it. But you know what? The gel coat is a match. And I think I'm going to just clean it up here right now. I don't know that I might give it a real quick buff and a polish. And I'll try and make it look the best that I can. And we're going to get this installed. You'll see when we go to put it in, this is going to rest on sort of the top. It's going to rest in this area right here. And then the rest of the back seat's going to come out. So we're going to lose that weight, which is awesome. I'm going to weigh that and just see, but I'll bet you that's got to be 25 pounds or something for that back seat, but we're going to find out here real soon. Now, one thing that's going to make some people cringe, we have to drill holes. And here's the thing. There's going to be a hole that goes right here, a hole that goes right here on both sides. And I'm not big on drilling a hole in my boat, but here's the thing. If this boat came from the factory with that hatch option, it would have had those holes in it. So I am going to use nice little stainless button head cap screws to bolt it down. When I remove the unit and I'm going to run it with the back seat, I'll put this little stainless bolts back in. It's not going to be any different than these. And let's say down the road I don't want it, or say I decide to sell this boat and somebody buys it, we can very easily glass in those holes, gel them, and you'll never ever know. So I'm going to, there's some protective, I don't know if you can see here, but protective paint or protective strips. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put masking tape down before I place it on, just so that it doesn't scratch. This boat doesn't have a single scratch in it anywhere, so we want to log that. So anyways, I'm going to break out the buffer. I'm going to clean up this. We'll just sort of put you on a time lapse for now, and then we're going to climb into the boat, get the back seat pulled out, get this installed, and then off to the lake. All right, guys, so I am far from a professional at buffing or polishing or compounding, and I have some sort of basic tools and some basic supplies. And but man, it's hard to really see, but that looks good. I'm super happy with that. Like I say, we got a couple little chips in it I'm not going to address, but anyways, it looks sharp. I'm happy. So I think what we'll do now is climb up in the boat, pull the back seat out, and then set this in place. I've never had this out of here, but it appears like it just comes out like so. And man, it's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy. It's actually a good time. I'm going to get in here and clean up this carpet and stuff back here a bit too. So all right, guys, so we got the carpet cleaned up. It's not perfect, but I didn't realize until you pull the back seat out that even up here there's some marks and stuff in it. So over the winter I'm going to shampoo this, maybe even change it up to sea deck at some time, but for now a little bit stained sort of back there just from fumes, I guess, and whatnot, but I'm not worried about that. The back seat covers all that. So I don't think that I'm going to video me setting it in place and drilling holes. I mean, it's kind of boring, but we're going to get it on, and we'll bring you back for the final look, and then we're going to get it to the lake and do some testing. Okay, guys, so I have it sitting in place, and this is where I've kind of settled. Here's my thought, is this isn't part of the seat. It stays in the boat, and there's a couple ways you could go about it. Ultimately, I'd like to bring it right back to the hatch, but this protrudes, and even when you press down, it sort of really flares up. If you move it forward to where it butts up to this, I feel like the downforce here will push it down. So I'm going to kind of split the difference. I'm going to sort of overlay it by half. It's sort of a smooth transition. And yeah, I think I'm going to drill it right there and see how it goes. Little trade secret, when you're drilling through a fresh hole in fiberglass, if you put the drill bit, put your drill in reverse and drill through the gel coat reverse till you get through the gel coat, then flip it over, you have a lot less chance of chipping the gel. All right, guys, so we are at the ramp. It's Sunday morning. We're going to go for our run. I'm alone this time, so Zach usually comes and brings his own boat, but he's not this morning, so I've got to put the boat in the water myself and stuff, so it's a little harder to kind of film that sort of stuff, so I don't think I'll really do that. And we'll get out to the spot, and I'm going to try and get some GoPro footage and see how it goes, so wish me luck. So morning observation here, heading out. It's a beautiful morning. The grains of water are very high, and it is a bit warm and humid, so I'm not expecting huge performance numbers today, but I don't know. You know, I think when the sun comes out, it'll start to burn the water off a little bit, and it'll get better, but regardless, it's a beautiful morning for a run. Anyways, John Bigelow here with me and his my old yellow drag with a 3-liter on it. And so we'll head out to the spot and meet up with the lads, and off we'll go.
Oh yeah, a good one.
All right, guys. Well, that concludes that test. As you probably heard right at the end of the video, 103.5, subpar air, or subpar air for this time of year. Very humid, 98% humidity, I believe it was. I checked the weather station, concluding, and yeah, 103.5. So definitely, we picked up 2.5 miles per hour. I was riding it pretty high, so maybe would attribute a little bit of that to the to maybe just the way I was driving it. I think maybe, I don't know, but regardless, it worked, and it's super cool. It was a fun little project to see. So the next thing that we're going to try, this boat's going to be a work in progress. Constantly, I've got a goal of 105 for this year, and north of 110 for next year. Which that's no easy task. I know that, big numbers, but you know, we're going to continue to chop away at this program. So the next test is the guys at TUFF have made me a deflector, I guess a motor deflector. Basically, it goes on the rear. I'll just kind of show you here. So it will go right here, and it comes up the other way, and it will kind of deflect the air around the motor. So anything that we can do with the aero side of things, I think is going to pick it up at these speeds. You know, I really believe that. So anyways, we're going to try that. So I don't think that'll be ready for this weekend. I do have a video coming out though, which I'm going to stick to the plan, weekly videos, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. So I do, anyways, so I'm working on this aero scoop, or I shouldn't call it an aero scoop, this air deflector. That's going to be the next thing. And like I say, we're going to just keep scratching away and see if we can break that 105 this year. So anyways, again, thank you. I appreciate you guys sticking with me through, you know, the little bit of a downtime there, but, you know, I've just been carrying the camera around and filming lots of stuff, and I've got some stuff coming up. So appreciate it. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and appreciate it. Bye.